Why are women over 60 facing nearly double the risk of developing Alzheimer's disease compared to men? And why is this critical warning still overlooked in most routine checkups? It's not just a normal part of aging. Nearly 2/3 of Americans with Alzheimer's are women. It's not just that women live longer, but there are biological differences, too. That's why early intervention is so important. Lifestyle strategies like eating a brain-friendly diet and staying physically and mentally active can help protect memory and slow cognitive decline. Hi, I'm from Golden Aging Health. In this video, I'll outline 5 scientifically proven reasons why women and Alzheimer's are so closely linked, and steps women over 60 can take now to protect their brain health and preserve their long-term memory. Before we dive into these surprising facts, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Golden Aging Health. The trusted science-backed tips are at the end of the video, so if you're interested in staying sharp and independent after 60, make sure you watch until the end. Reason number 5. The truth behind women's longer lives. Let's start with what many people think they already know. Women live longer than men, and that gives dementia more time to develop. According to the National Institute on Aging, women in the United States live about 5 years longer than men, reaching age 80–85. Each additional year increases the risk of dementia by 10% after age 65, according to a 2022 Mayo Clinic study. The brain's protective mechanisms weaken over time, leading to cognitive decline. But here's the truth. Just living longer doesn't fully explain the difference. Recent studies from the Alzheimer's Association show that even when age is taken into account, women are still at higher risk of dementia than men of the same age. In other words, there's more going on than just time. This means that women aren't just at risk because they live longer, but they're also biologically more vulnerable. So, what is behind this vulnerability? We'll explore more in the reasons below, including a hormonal shift that dramatically alters brain function. Reason number 4. Estrogen loss impacts the brain. The sudden drop in estrogen after menopause impairs brain function in ways that increase the risk of dementia. Estrogen is not just a reproductive hormone, but it's also crucial for brain health. It protects nerve cells, regulates neurotransmitters, and helps maintain healthy blood flow in the brain. According to Harvard Health, estrogen even helps clear beta amyloid, a toxic protein that forms plaques in Alzheimer's disease. But during menopause, this powerful hormone drops dramatically, often by more than 90% in just a few years. And that rapid loss doesn't just affect the body, it also directly affects the brain. Brain scans from a study at Weill Cornell Medicine showed that women in early menopause showed signs of accelerated brain aging, including reduced activity in areas responsible for memory and attention, such as the hippocampus. Elaine, a 63-year-old retired teacher, began forgetting names and repeating questions just a few years after menopause. Her doctor initially dismissed it as normal aging, but then cognitive testing revealed early-onset dementia. When her neurologist reviewed her medical history, the dramatic drop in estrogen after menopause was identified as a major contributing factor, especially since she wasn't receiving any hormonal support or brain health interventions. Elaine's story is sadly all too common, which is why this hormonal connection shouldn't be overlooked. If you've noticed memory lapses after menopause, do you think it's just hormones or something deeper? Your story may help others recognize the early signs. If you think hormonal changes are the whole story, there's an even more sinister factor at play, and it's hidden in your genes. I'll explain how the ApoE4 gene can dramatically increase your risk of Alzheimer's, the most important thing you need to hear in this video. Reason number 3. Stress speeds up memory loss in women. Women over 60 carry more chronic emotional stress, especially if they are caregivers, and this silent burden can accelerate memory loss and cognitive decline. According to the American Psychological Association, older women consistently report higher levels of long-term stress than men, largely because many take on the role of family caregivers. But it's not just emotional fatigue, it's also a neurological risk factor. Chronic stress causes your body to release cortisol, a hormone that, when elevated for months or years, can actually shrink the hippocampus, the brain's memory center. The University of California, Irvine, has linked chronic cortisol exposure to poorer learning, memory loss, and faster cognitive decline in older adults. I met Donna, a 70-year-old grandmother in Florida, and overheard her story of spending 3 years caring for her daughter, who was recovering from a car accident. Although she felt emotionally strong, she began to lose focus mid-sentence and forget basic chores. A neurologist later discovered that her cognitive test scores had dropped significantly, likely due to stress-induced hippocampal atrophy. Stress like Donna's isn't just overwhelming, it's biologically harmful to the aging brain of women. Have you ever experienced emotional stress for a long time? I'd love to hear how you overcame it. Reason number 2. Lifestyle silently harms women's brain. Helen, a 72-year-old widow with no children, stopped going to church after her husband died, rarely socialized, and eventually began missing appointments and forgetting familiar names. Her doctor noted signs of early dementia that may have worsened as she became less social. Unlike men, women in their 60s and beyond often have to juggle multiple changes: retirement, widowhood, becoming full-time caregivers, or adjusting to social isolation. A 2023 Harvard Health study found that women who lack regular social interaction are 20% more likely to develop dementia than men. Social isolation is a major contributor. It disproportionately affects older women, leading to accelerated memory loss, reduced brain volume, and even increased accumulation of beta amyloid, the protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. As Helen's story reminds us, mental stimulation and social connection are not luxuries, but protective powers for the aging brain of women. Are you involved in any social activities? Drop yes in the comments and tell us what activity it is. Reason number 1. Women with ApoE4 at higher risk. As I warned earlier, if you think postmenopausal hormonal changes are the whole story, here's the missing piece. A single gene, ApoE4, may be silently turning those changes into a much higher risk of Alzheimer's, but only in women. A real-life example is Maria Shriver, journalist and founder of the Women's Alzheimer's movement. After losing her father to Alzheimer's, she became publicly concerned about her own risk, especially as a woman who might carry the ApoE4 gene. Her organization helped fund a major Stanford study that revealed that ApoE4 affects women's brains more strongly than men's brains, especially after menopause, due to hormonal changes and inflammation. Research from Stanford University and Weill Cornell Medicine suggests that ApoE4 interacts differently with estrogen and brain metabolism in women. After menopause, a lack of estrogen can unlock the harmful effects of this gene, leading to increased brain inflammation, accelerated beta amyloid accumulation, and accelerated cognitive decline. In fact, 1 in 4 women who carry at least one copy of ApoE4 are twice as likely to develop Alzheimer's disease as women who don't carry the gene. Maria has demonstrated that even with resources and awareness, genetic risk isn't something you can ignore, it's something you have to prepare for. Does anyone in your family have dementia, or have you considered genetic testing? Share your thoughts. So let's recap the 5 surprising reasons why women over 60 are more likely to develop Alzheimer's disease than men, and what you can do about it. 5. Women live longer, giving Alzheimer's more time to develop. 4. Estrogen decline after menopause weakens memory and brain metabolism. 3. Chronic stress and caregiving burdens raise cortisol and shrink memory centers. 2. Lifestyle and social isolation quietly damage brain health in aging women. 1. The ApoE4 gene increases Alzheimer's risk more in women than in men. especially when combined with the factors above. But here's the good news. None of this is destiny. According to the National Institute on Aging, up to 40% of dementia cases may be preventable with lifestyle and medical interventions. So what can you do? Ask your doctor about cognitive screening at your next visit. If you have a family history, consider genetic counseling. Support your brain through regular mental stimulation, social connection, anti-inflammatory foods, daily movement, and healthy sleep habits. And most of all, stay informed. That's why I'm here. Don't keep this information to yourself. Share it with a sister, friend, or daughter. You might change the course of someone's future. Also, if you're concerned about memory changes or just want to stay informed, I've put together a separate video titled Seniors, Do You Have Any of These 7 Early Signs of Dementia? It highlights the subtle symptoms that are often overlooked. I'll include a link at the end of this video. I truly encourage you to watch it. It could offer clarity and peace of mind you didn't even realize you needed. If this video helped you, please like, subscribe, and turn on the bell icon for more trusted guidance from Golden Aging Health.